paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
By the way, I don't know how much of a movie person you are. I can never remember.
I'm not at all, but I should watch more movies.
You should see The Odyssey in theaters, dude. It's really good.
I thought people were complaining about that. Not like the shitters complaining about it, but I thought there were people who were like, it's crazy that he didn't use, like, language from the times or something like that. I don't know.
There's a scene where fucking Matt Damon says, I want off this fucking beach in, like, kind of a Boston accent, and I'm just like, I don't care. That's fucking Odysseus. It has the vibes of, like, a stage play, where it's like, these are actors playing these characters, but that's okay because the story's really compelling.
Okay.
It's like...
Yeah, I trust your movie recs 100%. I just, like... I was on the plane last night, and I was like, I don't know how to pick a movie.
Oh, you gotta go with one you heard of. Like, who are you flying? Are you flying Delta or are you flying American?
Delta.
Literally, I could give you 20 recommendations off the Delta catalog if I just pulled it up.
That'd be great.
I mean, let me pull up the Delta. This is actually good podcast material. Delta.
The last airplane movie I watched was Arrival, and I loved it.
Oh, Arrival's incredible. Actually, my favorite composer, he's gone, he's dead now, but he was the composer for Arrival. Best ambient noise, harsh noise guy, just like to ever do it.
That's the alien one, right? I have the name right?
Yeah, Arrival with like the time thing. They see time forward and back. Yeah. Banger.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Okay. Bear with me on this one. The 1996 version of Romeo and Juliet, directed by Baz Luhrmann. It's really good.
I
have swords,
think
they
I
have
watched
guns.
this in like high school.
Good. That's my favorite
I watched
John
this,
Leguizamo
yeah.
role. Yeah. John Leguizamo is incredible in it. And I think of the ones they listed on the internet, those are the ones I would watch.
The top comment on that movie on Letterboxd is, you don't go into this thinking there's going to be 2 Radiohead songs.
That movie was good enough to make me almost forgive how much I hated Moulin Rouge. Alright. Are we going to talk about magic this week, you think? Do we have to?
I think we have to. I think JJ's just going to cut in at some point with, like, a little bit of the movie talk and then slowly fade into, like, us talking about Radiohead songs. I don't know. But yeah, this...
What's your favorite Radiohead song, DJ?
Oh, I didn't study for this test. I'm not a true fan. I couldn't even... I don't know if I can name one. Hang on.
I think, Weird Fishes is my favorite one.
I'm so bad with songs, too. Not just music, or not just movies, but, like,
DJ's a real media enjoyer.
I'm a real media enjoyer, and whatever kind of autism is, like, I don't know the names of anything. I'm just like, yeah, I like that one. Like, it makes my brain go good.
Sure. That's fair.
Like, I can't name any director, any album of any artist that I like. Like,
I'm just built different. I one time was watching Solo, a Star Wars story, and I saw a guy in the background, and I'm like, isn't that Ron Howard's brother? And I was right.
I'm on the Medium.com top 60 Radiohead songs, and I recognize 2 of these so far.
Which
I know
of the
Creep.
two? Creep's, it's fine.
And I know Life in a Glass House.
That one's pretty good. Weird Fishes is still my favorite.
My brain is much more tuned for the buying and selling of magic cards, which is why you're listening to this podcast right now.
True. There was a pro tour over the weekend. How about that? Welcome to Brainstorm Brewery, everybody.
There was a pro tour. There was a Collecticon in Minneapolis that I was at. So the fun story from that weekend is we walked into the hall to set up for the event, and we saw like the convention center's got like the sign or whatever that changes, and it's like tells you all the things that are going on in the hall this weekend, and it said Magic the Gathering tournament. I was like, oh, that's funny. They got it wrong. Like somehow they thought that the Collecticon was a Magic tournament because we've had Magic tournaments in this building before.
Right.
And then 2 seconds later, we walked by one of the ballrooms, and there was an actual CEDH tournament going on that weekend.
That's so lucky for the CEDH players. They could go over and go to a real convention.
Yeah.
Sorry, was that too much?
I mean, we also took some trips over there and eyed the vendors to see if there was any deals to be made. But I think we got there too late because Saturday was surprisingly busy at the Collecticon.
Were there vendors at the CEDH thing?
Yeah, there was like three or four. It was 200 people in the tournament. It was not terrible.
Oh, okay. So it was like that was like a local, like a more local thing.
I think it was a local thing, but it was a relatively large local thing.
That's sick.
But yeah, I imagined a decent number of those vendors did pretty well, but the person who had the HP Moxjet stickered at $4,000 probably did less so.
It's hard to sell a card not legal in the format for too much money to an unwilling crowd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hearing about there was like a Canlander meetup in Amsterdam that was so big they had to like move them to a different ballroom, which is dope.
That's cool. That's a format that is I respect somebody willing to put the effort in for that.
The thing about Canlander that I really think is cool is that you can play power in it, but not too much power. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like sickly if you own a Mox Ruby, you can put Mox Ruby in your Canlander deck, you know?
Yeah, and there's not too many points. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Came up with something recently called Genesis or Genesis, something like that. There's a Y somewhere in the word, and I don't know why. But, like, their system went the route of you get 100 points and, like, 50,000 cards have points.
Yeah.
Some cards have 99 points, some cards have 1 point, and everything on God's green earth in between. Which is too much for me. Too much.
Too crunchy.
Yeah, I'm not about that life.
Yeah, one of my favorite ways to play Pokemon in 2020, in 2021, was Suganami Hall of Fame, which was like retro Pokemon with, I think it was 7-point buy. And I think there was like one card that was 8 points, so it just like wasn't, it was like pseudo banned.
Yeah.
I think it was the Aerodactyl that stopped evolution, but it was just a Pokemon format where like you could play 2 copies of Professor Oak and no other broken cards, or you could play like 3 copies of a broken Pokemon. So just force people to use bad Pokemon, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I like those kind of formats a lot.
As you can tell, listeners, once again, we are bus driverless as Corbin. This time, actually, it wasn't the parasite that got him this time. How did Corbin die this week, DJ? I got nothing.
We can run it back. We can just say he put the dye in diarrhea. Like,
True. Yeah, actually, it was the parasite. The parasite came back for the double tap.
I didn't know this parasite existed, by the way, when you did the cold open last week. You were just, like, said he died of explosive diarrhea, and I took it at either face or butt value, and, like, I just was like, oh, yeah, of course that's a thing. And then, like, a day or two later, Emily told me how Taco Bell lettuce is, like, poisonous or whatever, and I was just...
It's not just Taco Bell lettuce. Let's get out ahead of the misinformation here, folks. Taco Bell is the ones who whistle blew. They said, we think our distributor is the one who had this. Like, so Taco Bell did have the bad stuff. But they were the ones who were like, we're pretty sure Taylor Farms is the one who did this. So lots of places are affected. So before you order anything with iceberg lettuce, which I don't know why you would, but if you did, look up the list of Taylor Farms affected places for the disease that makes you poop yourself to death. Because nobody wants that. Especially in honor of Corbin Hostler. Do your research.
Yeah, this is where JJ puts up like a black and white, like, in the arms of an angel thing on the, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, there was a Modern Pro Tour, and it seems like Modern might be a good format, question mark, exclamation point.
all the modern decks have rancid vibes, but it's like Mr. Burns' disease, where they're all like the best decks are like Neoform and like Affinity and just like super. Somebody lost 3 win-ins for top 8 in a row with the Jund Cosmogoyf deck. I don't know if you're aware of this one, DJ.
I am not.
You use Serum Powder and Devourer of Destiny to put a bunch of cards in exile. Gemstone Caverns 2. You play Cosmogoyf, which for those not in the know, is a black and a green mana for a star +1 Lurgoyf Elemental. That's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards you have in exile. So you'll just do like 2 or 3 Serum Powders, a Devourer of Destiny. You start the game by revealing Chancellor of the Tangle, Chancellor of the Dross. You cast your like 19 power Cosmogoyf and pass the turn. Sometimes you Spoils of the Vault and hope you don't die to it to grow your Cosmogoyf at instant speed. It plays Plunge into Darkness. So you can just like
rules.
Yeah, you can be like, I'll pay 15 life. I'll exile 14 cards and put Thud into my hand. You know, the 1 mana sorcery speed fling.
Yeah.
I want to get the name right, but somebody at the Pro Tour. Oh gosh, I'm gonna bumble around for a second while JJ splices this together.
That's fine. Well, I can go over some of the other decks while you do your digging. We have Basking Broodschale Blade of the Bloodchief combo,
Yep.
which is a 2-card infinite loop with some Modern Horizons 3 nonsense. Whenever it's just 2 cards that say whenever one or more things happen, do the other thing. Like Basking Broodschale is whenever one or more counters you put on it, you can make that many Scions. Blade of the Bloodchief says when your Scion dies, you put a counter. But like, I don't know, playing Emrakul the Promised End and draft All-Star Writhing Chrysalis, which is another Modern Horizons 3 unbeatable draft card that's just like makes Eldrazi Scions and then gets bigger. Like that, this deck does not have rancid vibes in my opinion.
Nah, it doesn't, but it's like it's on the better end of vibes. The player, by the way, was Yu Hosokawa, who played Jund Cosmogoyf to, I believe, an X4 record, 6-4 in Modern with that deck, which is sick.
Slumbering Trudge, which is a Strixhaven bulk rare, is in the top 8 of this Pro Tour. I don't want to hear anything about like Gemstone Caverns gameplay is arguably bad, whatever. I don't care. Like it's.
I just think
there's some
Neoform
cool
sucks.
nonsense going on here.
I think Neoform can't last forever, and maybe that's on me. I guess the Goryo's deck is also kind of slop, but that's okay.
I think it's very cool to be able to like Summoner's Pact for your land that happens to be Disciple of Freyalise. And, like, maybe that gameplay gets stale after a while, but, like, I think it's cool to see Oops All Spells, like, tussle with the best of them sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Modern Pro Tour had a lot of charm, had a lot of heart. I think that Modern probably has a ban coming in the next couple of months. If the Pro Tour is anything indicative of the format to come. Especially because the next PT, I believe, is Modern again. I believe Detroit is Modern. Not Detroit. Sorry.
Atlanta?
Atlanta, that's the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about Detroit because they announced next year's PTs, and there's a Detroit PT in February.
Yes. It is, they tried... Oh, this year they did Budget Magic Con Chicago in the form of SCG Con Wisconsin, and next year they're doing Budget Magic Con Chicago in the form of Magic Con Detroit.
Detroit, banger city. Anyone who says otherwise,
I agree. I'm not shading Detroit. A lovely airport, cool city where you just get to see cool cars. I'm not a car guy, but like one of the first times I went to Detroit, they were just like driving a bunch of cool cars around the city center. I was like, oh, that's neat. Like,
really good Greek food in Detroit. If you have a chance to find some good Greek spots, just go and eat your fill.
Their pizza is not a sin against God.
I do like Detroit style pizza a lot. I think it might be my favorite kind of pizza that's not like New York style.
I am a big fan of like some of the nonsense that is going on in Modern. Maybe modal double-faced cards are broken beyond belief, which they absolutely are.
Yeah.
But like, I'm enjoying some of the nonsense that is been cooked up by this group of people.
I will say the Trudge deck is very, very cool. That was a really cool innovation from, I believe it was the Japanese team who innovated that. Yeah, I think it was Ken Yukihiro was the one playing it.
Yes.
Fight Rigging is a really cool card I loved from New Capenna Limited. Seeing the Modern Pro Tour is cool because, like, standard Pro Tours, we see decks that nobody else built because everyone on Magic Online just copies deck lists. At the Modern Pro Tour, you see strategies no one's seen before. And that is cool. God, Mosswort Bridge top 8 at a Modern Pro Tour this decade. That's... Okay, I take it back. The vibes are immaculate.
Like, people talk about, like, how expensive your like, remember the days when people would complain about how expensive or, like, budget a Modern deck is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this deck is less than a few $100. What is the most expensive card in here? Green Sun Zenith, maybe?
Ugin's Labyrinth's like a $70, $80 playset. Beseju's like $40. Cavern's like 30-ish.
Beseju's a one of, yeah.
There's 2 Gemstone Caverns. Green Sun. I mean, this deck's probably like $500. That's still pretty good for a Modern deck.
It's $500 in 2026 money, which is
right.
$200 in 12 years ago money. Like,
sure. I'm just trying to provide the facts for the people at home. You know?
Like, fetching into Dryad Arbor in a format that you historically since COVID have been complaining about dying on turn 2, I'm a fan.
According to MTGGoldfish.com, grain of salt there, this deck is $870 in paper.
I think you can safely estimate around like 60% of that. So I think you're spot on with the $500 mark.
Yeah. Fanatic of Ronus is also a surprisingly expensive card. That card's like over $10 now.
Really?
I mean, it was a 4 Pro Tour top 8 winning deck. The top 8 was limited. That's actually something worth noting for this PT, is the top 8 was draft for the first time since Pro Tour Scars of Mirror Yokohama 2011.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That PT was Scars block constructed and draft top 8. I remember there was like the Tempered Steel deck was busted and Chapin showed up with a Grixis Tezzeret deck that wasn't that good, maybe?
I remember building a Grixis Tezzeret deck in Standard because $50 Tezzerets were the brink of my bank account and I could not afford $100 Jace the Mind Sculptors. The deck still played Mind Sculptor, but like...
Yeah, I borrowed the Jaces from my rich friend, so... Checkmate. I remember Kolthoth the Forge Mastering out of Blightsteel. That was sick.
Yep. Somebody's playing Superior Spider-Man to copy Gristlebrand. This format rules.
Okay. I'll actually say, noting on the price of Modern decks, looking at this Eldrazi ramp deck, the price is not in the cards you'd expect it to be in. Like, Green Suns are, a $20 card, $25 card maybe. The place where it really gets you is the sideboard Chalice of the Voids, Gemstone Caverns, Trinisphere. There's just a bunch of midline cards.
Chalice of the Void is, like, so affordable now. Like, that card is historically $70.
But these things kind of nickel and dime you in a way that you don't expect. And I think that's actually one of the shticks with Modern now, is there's so many fewer, like... Mox Opal's the standout, but are there any other Modern playables that are over $100? We're thinking.
I can't think of any, like...
I'm looking. According to, again, NG Goldfish, so, grain of salt and all that, Shieldred the Apocalypse does see the occasional sideboard play in Modern, like the Yawgmoth deck. That card's close to 100, but it's not there. Mox Amber's in, like, the $80 range. Badgermole Cub comes up next. But other than that, Modern is just a format of $40 cards now, which I think is good for the format overall, with Mox Opal being the big standout at, like, almost $1,000 for a playset of nice ones.
And Mox Opal is, like... a legacy /CEDH /casual commander card that has not gotten a real reprint in 4 years, maybe longer.
Double Masters was the last one, or I guess
I wasn't sure if it was in the second Double Masters or not. I know it's in a Double Masters set. It's the last non-foil reprint of Mox Opal was 6 years ago.
That's crazy. I mean, that card's got to be on their radar for a reprint, even if just to temporarily ease supply concerns. I feel
And
like when they
it's like-
unbanned that card, they had to have that in the pipeline.
You would have thought, because the card was unbanned like over a year ago now.
Yeah, but also, I can see them wanting to give it some time to, be a format pillar.
When was
Like,
Mox
maybe-
Opal unbanned?
I could see it.
Almost 2 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Maybe I'm blowing smoke.
It came off with Green Sun Zenith, Faithless Looting, Splitter Twin, and we axed the One Ring, Amped Raptor, and Gigantha the Wellspring, all in one announcement in December of 2024.
That was a really exciting day. Damn, I remember that day. That feels like it was so much more recent than 2024. Oh my god.
And like the One Ring went down to $60 after that, and now it is back up to $100.
And who knows? Like, it probably drops to like 70 again when it gets reprinted temporarily in the Hobbit, and then it goes back to 100 again.
Yeah. I mean, so speaking of the Hobbit, how high do you think the posters go? Because, like, we haven't even hit the set release date yet, and Borderless poster non-foil One Ring, which is a mouthful, is $1,000.
Sure.
The foil is like $3, and there are still, like, pretty much every poster card is like several $100s.
Whoa.
I picked up a set of poster foils 2 weeks ago, and TCG low on that is 9,000. And like the set is not out yet, and they're not making more of the posters of these cards.
So here's my talking point on that. I own a local game store, and I was allocated less Hobbit than I have been of other sets recently in terms of collector product. Additionally, the Hobbit is selling about 13 boxes a day, average daily sold, at around $900 for collector boxes. Obviously, we are ways out, but like, there is a really good chance that when I put my pre-orders up for Hobbit collector boxes, I'm close to $800 or $900. So the answer to your question is big number $ Texas.
Yeah. Sure.
Like, if you have to open $900 boxes to get these cards, they can be pretty expensive before, prices start correcting.
Well, I just mean for like the original poster foils, because like those are on the upswing. Those are what I was mentioning. Like those are on the upswing, and the set's not out yet.
Do those cards match the poster foils from the new set? I don't believe they do, because the new ones are like
No.
covers.
The new ones are like the old-timey textbook covers, not like the 70s craziness.
I mean, how many Aragorns are actually selling at these numbers? I assume quite a few, but like 7 copies a week? I guess it's actually not that helpful because the price gradient on these is crazy.
Yeah. And like they're some of the most popular cards right now. I mean, I'm in a couple of the buy sell trade discords, as I mentioned before, and that is the number one ticket item is, does anybody have... Everyone's looking to piece together their foil or non-foil poster sets right now.
How much of that do you think is people being afraid of missing out on them before they get more expensive? And like, does that die down? Earnest question.
I don't think it dies down. I think all of the Universes Beyond releases up until now have shown us that the human sacrifice pleases the lion as it continues to go up.
Sure.
And like the biggest draw against the Hobbit that I have had vibes wise is that it does not have commander precons, which feels like a reasonably large strike against it, but also like also we have all of the data in front of us that says people don't care, so like I don't know.
Honestly, for me, the things that are really relevant are the current price of collector boxes and the number that I got allocated. I got allocated like 60% as many Hobbit as I do for other sets.
Okay.
I feel like this set is not as big of a print run as maybe other sets, or maybe my distro just couldn't get me as much this time. But I think Hobbit is going to have a ton of FOMO hype behind it, and that kind of stuff drives the price of older cards. Like what happens when you go to your local game store and you can't get a box of Hobbit? What do? You do the next best thing, which is go buy the poster cards you didn't have. Magic players overwhelmingly spend the same amount of money, pretty much regardless. It's just a question of where they spend it.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
All that said, by the way, a bunch of the Hobbit cards they spoiled look really sweet. Thranduil, the Elven King. For those at home, not on YouTube, where the card will be so politely placed by JJ. Thranduil's 2 black, blue, green, so 2 and a Sultai, 5 mana total for a 5/6. He has the activated abilities of all elf cards in your graveyard, and whenever another legendary elf you control enters, draw 2 cards and discard a card. There are so many things that you can bury to life for that go infinite with this guy. This is just like Necrotic Ooze in the command zone for your elf deck.
Yeah.
Devoted Druid notably goes infinite with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was your Twitter handle. It still is? Was?
Not on Twitter. I deleted my account on that website, but
sure.
My Blue Sky handle has way less sauce, but the actual thing about The Hobbit is that it's just a fun vibe. Like, it is way more light and delightful than Lord of the Rings, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this, and I'm also excited for all of the 2027 releases that they announced in Amsterdam, which, boom, there's the rest of our podcast.
We haven't even talked about the 3 large tentpole sets for 2027.
Can we talk about Pacific Rim?
We can talk about Pacific Rim in a second. I want to go in order.
Okay.
But so the first Magic Within set, the Universes Within set for next year is Noctis. Is that Noctis? Noctis, which is Atlantis. So Corbin not being here is actually a travesty. He died of the diarrhea not knowing that Magic visited Atlantis and is doing merfolk things with a whole underwater world just built entirely for him. But like the teaser seems very cool. It's Magic is 35, almost 35 years old, 33 right now or whatever, and they continue to do things that are both surprising and obvious, and that's cool.
Yeah, one of the things Magic's always been really good at is exploring a new kind of world, right?
Yeah. And
Noctis is like, it's a new kind of world for Magic, and we're going to get the unique Magic twist on it. Like, it's not going to be Subnautica, it's not going to be Bioshock, it's not going to be like some grimdark underwater thing. This is going to be, we're going to have a civilization, they're going to flesh out the world, and we're going to get that through. You're going to be able to do a couple of drafts of the set and have a vibe for what Noctis is, and that's what Magic has always excelled at in terms of world building.
Yeah, everything from like Ixalan to Mirrodin to Innistrad to Theros, and they've talked about this before. It's hard not to tie everything back to Universes Beyond somehow, but like they've talked about before, like how Universes Beyond allows the Magic sets to breathe as Magic sets more, and not have to do references to things that are outside of Magic in the Magic sets.
I do think Universes Beyond gives Magic a lot of room to not need to have like this big overarching grandiose story, and you can kind of just have worlds that exist with stories within them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need to have the Gatewatch stringing everything together. Like, not as many people cared about the loot stuff as they wanted, I'm sure. But like, when they went to Edge of Eternities, that was the first time I had read Magic story in a really long time, and it was great. Edge of Eternities story was awesome. And it felt deeply Magic despite being a very new thing to Magic. And I think Noctis is going to feel the same way. And they had mentioned also that there's not going to be any flying in the set. There's going to be a new mechanic to take its place.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Sea horsemanship, perhaps?
It can't be that simple. It can't be that simple.
No, it probably won't be. Maybe it's diving? Who's to say? One of the things I like to think about now, though, too, is whenever they release a set, they can do secret layer tie-ins. And I think a Subnautica secret layer would go crazy with this. I'd buy it.
Oh, yeah.
I would so buy it. The Pro Tour for Noctis is Pro Tour Detroit in February, like I talked about. Then there's an unannounced Universes Beyond set that's tied to MagicCon Tokyo. I've seen some speculation that maybe it's like Monster Hunter, because there's a Monster Hunter game coming out that time of year.
They
MagicCon
did
in Tokyo for
the Monster Hunter Secret Lair prior.
Yep.
For those who are unaware, Wizards did attempt a Monster Hunter Secret Lair, and one or more of the cards had typos, and or just like got information blatantly wrong and didn't feel emotionally resonant. And is it the first and only time they've pulled a Secret Lair after announcing it? It might be.
I believe so, yeah.
But so maybe there could be issues with that licensing. It's hard to say.
Alternatively, maybe they pulled it because the license wanted to wrap it into something bigger and do a better job with it. Hard to say.
Maybe.
Could never say.
Yeah.
But that's all to say that it'd be pretty cool if there was like a MagicCon in Tokyo for Monster Hunter around the time of Monster Hunter release. That's the kind of thing they could do. Pure speculation. Yeah. And then we get on to what I think is going to be my favorite release of the year, which is Kamigawa Titan Breach, which is Ikoria and Kamigawa slammed into each other because of the Omen Paths, and all the monsters from Ikoria are falling from the sky directly into Kamigawa, and the Kamigawa people are like, hey, we need big giant fighting robots, like steampunk samurai robots, to fight the kaijus, and it's just Pacific Rim, and it's pretty awesome.
I have never seen the movie, but the Reddit comments seem to be enthralled by it, which is great.
It might be my favorite movie of all time.
That's saying something.
It's really excellent. It's just like a dumb robot and monster movie, and it's just the best version of that we've ever had. It's so good.
Sure.
It's a shame there never was a sequel.
I will take your word for it, but we did get a sequel to the Goblin Storm deck in the form of the Miku deck.
True.
The Hatsune Miku Commander deck was officially announced. Up until this point, it was just a unintentional leak that we didn't know if it was going to be a real product or not, because it had a 2025 copyright date from last year. Mm-hmm. So it might have been slated for last year and pushed back a couple years. Who knows? But it is releasing next month in a slew of other very, very popular Secret Lairs. They announced Stardew Valley, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's another one where I don't have emotional resonance with it, but, like, people are going to eat it up. If you think people like cats, it's the same cozy cat core vibes of just Secret Lair cats. And people are going to go nuts for Stardew Valley, I think. It depends on the print run. Like, they've had some Secret Lairs that have had very, very, very high print runs. But it's Stardew Valley. I feel like it's going to be very popular.
Yeah. Did we talk about Star Trek spoilers last week?
I don't think we did.
Oh, buddy. It's my time to shine. I love Star Trek, and I love all of these cards, and people are mad about a bunch of them, and that's okay. They can be mad. I'm happy enough for both of us.
Do you feel like they are capturing the resonance of the flavor with the Star Trek cards?
Yeah, I would say so. Some people are like, oh, I think it is cool that they are using sagas as episode titles to tell the story of the episode, and I think it's also cool that those cards don't need to be super busted.
Because one of the first looks we got at the set is, I think, going to go down in history as an infamous piece of artwork, but the Khan Shieldred, and I know nothing about this franchise, but you have Benedict Cumberbatch just on a card.
So
there,
we don't need to worry about the J.J. Abrams movies. They had to make this contractually, I'm sure. It's fine. This card is nothing to me. I'll move past it. Okay. That's about how I want to handle it. Is that I think that card just it's nothing to me. It's nothing to me.
Some people are saying that Wizards is juicing the set with Shocklands because they think it's going to be a flop.
What I'm going to say is, I think it's really cool they put all 10 Shocklands in a set so I can have a matching set of art.
Are these in the set proper, or are they a bonus sheet?
They look to be in the actual set proper, TRK.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's dope. I think it's really cool to have, I think all the arts on them are good. I probably replace my current playset of Shocklands with these, but I'm also the target demographic for this.
Yes.
A bunch of the cards we saw were from like beginner decks effectively, and so they're pretty weak. Those aren't too exciting. But I actually think a number of these cards they spoiled are quite good. Like
they're introducing a mechanic that cares about the modes of cards, which is very cool.
Yes.
So like the mechanic is whenever you face a dilemma, do the thing, and facing a dilemma is choosing modes of a card. So if you play like Rakdos Charm and you choose a mode that is facing a dilemma, I imagine Cryptic Command and like choosing multiple modes still counts as one dilemma. I think like choosing the modes of your card is the one dilemma. So like that's very cool. It's another like, oh, this is obvious. This feels like it should have been explored already, but it's year 33 and we're like making you care about like, oh, do I play this modal spell even though it's slightly weaker because like it has modes, and that's the thing is now my card has modes, or choose one and that matters.
Notably, also it counts abilities too. So things like
like Charming
Captain
Prince
James
kind of thing.
T. Kirk. Well, Captain James T. Kirk, when he enters and attacks, you make a choice. And if you have no cards and if you're hellbent, he does all of them instead because Kirk's at his best when he's desperate and punchy. Pretty good flavor. But one of the core tenets of Star Trek is it makes us ask the questions about what makes us people and what makes us good people, and how do we exist in a world where we're not the only thing, like humans aren't the only thing that exist. And so it's a really cool mechanic to have in the set where you face dilemmas, because Star Trek is all about facing dilemmas and how we handle them as people. I don't know. I'm obviously target demographic for this. I love this. I love Star Trek and Magic, and it's fine. It's fine if you hate it. I'll love it enough for both of us. It's fine.
And it does have Commander decks, and it has Collector Edition Commander decks with search foils.
Yeah.
These are gonna get some number of people into Magic, for sure. We have Borg, we have Klingon, we have Landing Party and Federation Fleet. What is the difference between Landing Party and Federation Fleet?
Let me see the covers of them. I'm gonna guess it's different eras of Star Trek. Landing Party, I believe it has Spock on it.
Yes, and Federation Fleet is
Picard.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart. So I'm gonna guess that's like TNG and original series. Could also just be the vibes of like, Star Trek diplomacy versus Star Trek exploring. Probably not. That seems like too esoteric of a concept for.
We have a Jeskai colored deck, blue, red, white. We have a Bant colored deck, green, white, blue. A Mardu colored deck, red, white, black, and then an Esper colored deck, white, blue, black for Borg. Which, with the little I know about the franchise, seems like it tracks.
Yeah, all those make total sense to me. One of the coolest cards they spoiled is I like the Borg Queen, Perfection Manifest. 6 mana, 4 black for a 1/4 that gives artifact creatures you control +2/+0. When she enters, assimilate target creature from an opponent's graveyard. You put it on the battlefield under your control with a +1/+1 counter on it. It becomes a Borg artifact creature as an additional type. I like the idea
Not
of
even an
renaming your
additional type, it
stuff.
loses all other types.
Oh, you're so
It's
right.
just a Borg.
Yeah, you will become a Borg. Resistance is futile, guys. Just jot that down.
I mean, mono black artifacts have been eating very well since Necron through Doctor Doom through this.
Yep. The Collector Commander decks, I think, are actually a cool note to make, because the Final Fantasy Collector decks did quite well. Marvel one's a little bit worse, but there's also one of the things I will say about Star Trek is there's a ton of different products, which I think is good. I think you don't need like infinite products, but they're hitting like new players, they're hitting in franchise players, and they're hitting, I think, whales and casual purchasers alike. For the most part, I like the spread of things they have for Star Trek. I will say the Steam boxes are never a hit for me.
You said they're never a hit?
They're never a hit for me. I don't like the idea. One of the things that makes Magic kind of cool in collecting is that you don't just buy the cards outright. I don't know, like buying singles is great, and if you want to do that, you buy singles, and buying the Steam boxes is just getting those 9 cards.
How do you feel about, what about Secret Lairs, though?
At least Secret Lairs have a bonus mystery card. It feels different when you buy a Secret Lair from the online shop versus when you buy something in store.
Sure.
People mostly buy the Steam boxes for 1 card. I guess they do the same thing with Secret Lairs, but checkmate, I guess. I don't know. I got nothing for that.
That's fair. I have worked several of the Collecticons recently, which are the predominantly Pokemon One Piece events. It's like probably 85% Pokemon, 10% One Piece, 4% Yu-Gi-Oh, 1% Magic. As a very rough breakdown with some Riftbound and Digimon scattered throughout or whatever. But like it's very eye-opening to see all of the Pokemon players gawking over Magic cards that are not Magic cards definitively. Like somebody sold me the remnants of a bunch of the Avatar Commander bundles. Like they had 7 or 8 Fierce Guardianships, 10 Worldly Tutors, all of those showcase frame cards, 20 or 30 Soul Rings, something like that. And I was like, oh, like, were you looking for, like, what were you building? Like, did you build Azula or something? And he's like, no, I just have loved the show, never played Magic, just wanted to open a bunch of Avatar cards. I was like, did you have fun? He's like, oh, yeah, it was a blast. And then, like, I gave him his money and he walked away. But, like, he paid for that entertainment value, and some number of people like him will stick with the game.
Yep. All
That's
you need
cool.
is, like, 1 in 20 of those people to stick with the game, and Magic grows.
You know what game we're about to stick with right now?
Is it Breaking Bulk?
It's Breaking Bulk.
Breaking Bulk time.
I have a Urza's Saga Uncommon that is black, and I'm picking a card that Corbin could maybe guess while he's not here, just to be violent.
It's not Reign of Filth, right?
No.
Okay. That card's too good already.
I think that card might be from Destiny or Legacy.
It doesn't have a foil. It didn't have a foil until Secret Lair, so I think that makes it Saga.
It is Saga, you're right. It had a list printing, but... No, this is Urza's Saga, Black Uncommon, many reprints since these days, but the Urza's Saga one's still worth the most. Not the most, but almost the most.
Uncommon, huh? Okay. Oh, I'm gonna feel so embarrassed when I don't get this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really somehow drawing a blank on this. Bone Shredder? No, that's Legacy.
Not a creature.
It's not a creature. I'm gonna guess that it's gotta be like an enchantment or something. I'm not looking at you for reactions. I'm trying to do this honestly.
Sure. I am a stone face. I am unguessable.
Not Pestilence? Is that an uncommon in the set?
Pestilence is common, I think.
Yeah.
I know it's pauper legal.
I'm gonna look up Pestilence from Urza's Saga. Because I've yielded and I'm trying to cheat covertly at this point.
Sure.
It was a common in Urza's Saga. That's insane.
I like how that's the thing you're shocked about the power level of that set for.
Listen. There's a lot of things
In a
wrong
world
with
of
that set.
Tolarian Academy and Gaia's Cradle, how can Pestilence be a common?
I mean, Pestilence being a common is egregious. It's probably one of the color hate enchantments. It's not Diabolic Servitude. No Rest for the Wicked isn't good enough of a card, I don't think. Is it Priest of Gix?
No.
Scourge
Victimize.
Familiar?
Victimize.
Oh my god, that card's Urza's.
It does feel like a Visions or Mirage card. That's fair.
It does, yeah.
Victimize is 2 and a black sorcery. Choose 2 target creatures in your graveyard, then sacrifice a creature, so you can't sack a creature and bring it back. If you do, put the 2 chosen creatures into play tapped. It is around $4 for the Urza Saga variant. You can find played copies for less than that, so like LP, MP copies are, of course, more affordable because Urza Saga was 1,000 years ago. This card also has a special guest printing, a Secret Lair printing, Commander Legends printings, bunch of Commander Precon printings, Modern Horizons 3. The card's modern legal. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did actually.
Eternal Masters. It's got a million printings. Most of the newer ones have been printed to death, but there are still several printings of the card that are uncommon and pickable for the Breaking Bulk laws and rules. You can find those data prices on mtgband.com. I typed in Victimize and pulled up every single printing of the card and every single buy list printing of every single version of the card. So I know that Card Kingdom is paying 60 cents for 18 copies on the March of the Machine Commander one. I know that Cool Stuff is paying quarters on the Commander Anthology one. I know that Star City Games is paying 10 cents on the Eternal Masters one. I know that the special guest non-foil is $17.71 market price. All of this data is at my fingertips with MTG Band. You can also favorite searches, so you can like keep tabs on specific cards or specific searches. I have Foil Guy's Cradle just as a favorite search because I have to look that card up a lot nowadays. You can... Oh, there's a new update where you can just type in the set code and collector number without any other nonsense, and it just brings you to the card. Crazy cool update. Crazy useful update. No longer are my fingers bound by S:, space, CN:, whatever. Like, Strixhaven Mystical Archives, oh my god, so nice for those. Just SOA space 153, bam. That's, you got the whole, all the data at your fingertips. You can use Scryfall syntax if you want to still. The developers are very responsive. MTG Ban is what I use to buy collections, what I use to price everything. It is an all-in-one tool subscription service that you can pay different amounts depending on what you want access to. It's just nice. And that's promo code 50BSB, 50BSB gets you 50% off your first month. Even if you pay for the most expensive tier, you still get 50% off your first month. It's great.
I also have a breaking bulk this week. It is a Modern Horizons 3 Black Rare.
Modern Horizons 3 Black Rare. Ripples of Undeath?
No.
I feel like I know more of these. Chthonian Nightmare. Or Chthonian something.
That card's sweet, but no.
Emperor of Bones cannot be breaking bulk, right? That card is like actually money.
Well, it's TCG low of 54 cents.
Emperor of Bones?
Mm-hmm. With a buy list of $1.60.
Is that the card?
$1.50. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I swear, wasn't that card like $10 somewhat recently?
It was, and even given that, still find them in bulk frequently. Card is down to 54 cents, but
why?
Buy lists on it are still strong.
What happened to Mr. Bones?
Modern Horizons 3 people opened a lot of it, and it's a rare, so it's like not that, it's not that rare.
I mean, the card is very strong. I don't disagree. It's a 2-mana 2/2 at the beginning of combat on your turn. Exile up to one target card from any graveyard. It has Adapt 2 for 2 mana, which means you put +1 counters on it, and you get to do that once, as long as it doesn't have counters on it. And then whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on it, you put a creature exiled with Mr. Bones onto the battlefield with Finality counter on it. It gets haste, and then you sacrifice/exile that creature at the beginning of the next end step. So, like, for just 2 mana, you do get a big package of Graveyard of Hate and a 4/4 eventually, and stealing other things or bringing back other things. Like, it does a lot, and it's only $1.50.
If I had to guess, it's the combination of Superior Spider-Man and Quantum Riddler being printed and pushing it out of the Esper-Gorios decks.
Oh, sure. It used to be like a modern card, and now it is not.
If I had to guess, that would be my guess.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that's a good breaking bulk. I thought this card was still like $5 or $10, so I would have eagerly pulled it out of bulk, and then been disappointed to find out it is only $2. But I'm sure there's some people who thought this card was worthless and will happily put it in their binder and trade it out at $2 or something like that. So, or send it to Card Kingdom. You should really just send it to Card Kingdom. $1.60 is full retail for the card, effectively.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when you sell it to Card Kingdom, this is a question somebody asked me recently, and we should talk about it. You should take store credit, and then you should sell that store credit.
I agree. You get a 30% bump on the store credit, you sell it for like 83 cents is going rate? I don't actually know what going rate is right now.
So the math on this sounds weird because of how math and percentages work, but trust me, the numbers are what they are. If you sell the Card Kingdom store credit at 80%, you effectively get 4% more cash for your dollars. And 80% is like the bare lowest, like you will sell the credit immediately at that number. Ban is a good Discord server to transact that store credit in. You can there's a lot of people in there that are constantly buying and selling Card Kingdom store credit. I just bought a bunch recently to get a card for my CEDH display case this weekend. And like you are leaving money on the table if you do not take store credit and then sell that store credit. It's a little bit more effort, but if you're buy listing and like sorting cards and shipping cards out anyway, you are willing to put some effort in for a few extra percentage points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
that's just good advice.
The way you do it is you get the store credit on your account, so you will like mail the cards in, blah blah blah. Card Kingdom will process them. They will put the store credit on your account. You need to obtain a physical gift card, which you can just get. Like you can get those for free basically. And then you move the store credit from your online account to the gift card, and then you submit a Card Kingdom ticket to move this credit from a gift card to somebody else's online account. So it is a little bit of work, and there is a non-zero amount of just stuff you have to do that, but like it is effectively free money and better than taking like PayPal and all that stuff.
Yeah. You can engage in a little bit of rigmarole for 4% extra money. I love to get paid for my rigmarole. I'm doing rigmarole anyways.
Or you just like stockpile the Card Kingdom store credit and wait and use Ban to find places to spend the money, which is like what I do more often than not. Like there's cards in my display case this weekend that I'm stickering at $400 that I paid $200 on Card Kingdom for. Like the TCG Card Kingdom data is just different sometimes. Card Kingdom's pricing is based on an algorithm. Like they lag behind sometimes. You can find numbers where their number is much lower than TCG, and Ban is what gives you that information gap. So like sometimes I'm just pricing things and then like, oh, I should just buy these from Card Kingdom, and you want to have store credit for when that happens. Anyway, the third Universes Beyond or Universes Within set next year
is Zhalfir.
Zhalfir.
Zhalfir, either way. It's where Teferi's from. Notably, he phased it out of existence to save it from Urza's Ruinous Blast, I think.
It was either that or Phyrexia itself, I don't know.
Yeah. And the second thing that Teferi phased out of existence was New Phyrexia, aka Mirrodin, when he used Realmbreaker to phase New Phyrexia out. And I think I was reading that in some of the art for Zhalfir, the sons of Mirrodin are flying around, so it's possible Zhalfir and Mirrodin are in the same place now. And
okay.
We see a little Phyrexian action again. Who's to say?
So, we originally saw this plane 30 years ago with a set of Mirage, I believe.
Yep.
Mirage's base is placed at least partially on the plane of Zhalfir with like all the African motifs.
Full continent. I believe it's the full continent of Jamora.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the largest continents on Dominaria. Pretty sure.
Wait. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Jamora is a continent on Dominaria. It contains Shiv, Kalaman, Femeref, Suquata, and Zhalfir.
Okay, so Zhalfir was part of Dominaria until it wasn't?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
But Mirage, I believe, was all of Jamora, which is the full continent, which is why you have, like, Suquata archers who aren't from Zhalfir.
I see. Understood. I don't know. I'm not attached to... I don't have that level of nostalgia for the older sets of Magic, but the old heads seem to be excited about it.
I will say, one of the cool things about the old headsets is that the designers have a ton of stuff to draw on to design things, which can be good and can be bad.
Yeah, like 2018 Dominaria, everyone loved.
Right. Dominaria United, less so. And so I think we could see something great, we could see something worse. But for the most part, I just always like when Magic returns to Plains with an interesting vision. It's part of why I like Titan Breach so much, coming out with Titan Breach. It's part of why I thought Wilds of Eldraine wasn't that exciting, because it was just kind of Throne of Eldraine 2. There wasn't that much of a fresh take on it. It's why I thought Lost Caverns of Ixalan was awesome.
Yeah, because Wilds of Eldraine said that it was leaning on the Wilds part of it, but it really was just more of the courts, more of Will and Rowan, more of just, like, more fairy tale references. Yeah.
Well, Lost Caverns of Ixalan was like Journey to the Center of the Earth type stuff, right? Like, it was the same vibes as Ixalan 1, but with, like, a different tone. Which I liked.
Yeah, I do too.
Do you want to play a game, or do you want to do Pick of the Week?
I want to play a game. What game do you got?
I'm going to show you Pokemon cards.
Ooh, okay.
We're doing the continuation of the game we've been doing week over week now, which is we show each other cards from a card game the person's never played, and they guess if that card is good.
We are calling it Banger or Bust / parentheses trademarked. This is probably not something we'll do every week because we'll run out of card games eventually, or we'll just try to sparse it out. But, like, it's fun, so we're going to keep doing it. And you should play along at home by watching on YouTube and reading the cards that JJ faithfully puts up on the screen for your eyeballs to consume. So I have never played the Pokemon TCG. My history with the Pokemon TCG is I would play a card and then my brother would play a card and we were 6 years old and I said my number's bigger so your Pokemon dies. And sometimes if we were feeling spicy, we would use weakness and resistances.
That's just good gameplay. Well, we're going to talk about things that don't engage with that quite as much. We're going to talk about Pokemon cards, like trainer cards, things you probably didn't play with a lot as a kid.
I know you get one supporter per turn.
Yep. And items, you can play as many as you like per turn. The first one we have is a trainer card. It's an item called Battle Compressor Team Flare Gear. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and discard them. Shuffle your deck afterwards.
Okay, so this is obviously broken in most other card games, but so are a lot of other Pokemon. Like, obviously there are just, like, you get to play Pokemon cards that say dumb things, but, like, the gameplay is restricted in a way that doesn't matter. So, like
Wheel of Fortune is evergreen in Pokemon Standard. Basically.
Yeah, and like, this is Foolish Burial / Entomb ×3, and it's not a supporter, so you get to play as many as you want. I think this card is terrible in that line of thinking, because I don't think Pokemon has as much graveyard bullshit going on. Like, I don't think you're not playing Reanimator in Pokemon. You're not, I don't think you are abusing the graveyard as much. I know there's some silly loops you can get into where you're, like, looping your graveyard and, like, going infinite where your opponent has no, it's just like, okay, I have Elixir of Immortality, please concede. I know there's some stuff like that, but I'm gonna lock in pretty early that I think this card is a bust.
This is maybe top 10 Pokemon cards all time.
Oh.
It's largely used with, like, either things that say, for each Pokemon with this attack in your discard pile, do more damage, or there's a mechanic attack called Night March. It was a whole deck called Night March. There was, like, 6 or so Pokemon with the attack, and it was 2 colorless energy, do 20 damage for each Pokemon with the Night March attack in your discard pile.
Okay.
And so you would just, like, load up your graveyard with Night March guys and do big damage, and this card was really efficient at doing that. You could also use it with cards that say, like, return 1 supporter from your discard to your hand. And so you can play this early, find 3 1-of supporters, and then have, like, a utility card.
And the card disadvantage is negligible because you always just have
Professor.
You're not restricted on card advantage. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I got by the reversal, by the...
Next up, we have Pidgeotto from Team Up. He is a stage 2, so you have to evolve from a Pidgey. Sorry, stage 1, you have to evolve from a Pidgey. 60 HP, with 1 retreat cost and an attack of Gust for 30 damage for 2 colorless, and the ability Airmail. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put 1 of them into your hand, and put the other card on the bottom of your deck.
This also feels bad to me. Because I just said you're not restricted on card advantage, and I feel like the thing on your bench that is doing the ability every turn, I feel like you want basics that are better at that. That you just like want to load up your backline with like things that you don't have to like. I know there's efficient ways to evolve, like you have like evolution pills or stones and stuff like that. Like I know there's like trainer cards that evolve your guys. Sure. And like rare candy evolve, I think? No?
Rare candy takes you from basic to stage 2, so it skips the middle form.
Okay. It's generic, so you can play it in everything. Maybe this is good. It's just like sleight of hand every turn, but I'm gonna say this is good. I'm gonna Uno reverse and say this card is good.
You would be right, DJ. This card was a key engine piece in the Oranguru control deck. One of the things about Pokemon is that card advantage that is repeatable is really strong, because sometimes games go on a while, especially when you're playing a control deck, where you're doing things like locking your opponent's Pokemon in the active spot because of retreat costs, or making your opponent, fate sealing your opponent 1 every single turn. And just repeated card advantage is quite strong.
Yeah, so this... I was worried that, like, it's hard to get into play, though. Like...
It is somewhat slow. It's a control engine piece, basically. In control decks, you need repeatable card advantage.
Sure. I'm one for 2. That's not too bad. Better than last week so far.
Third up, we're going to do another Pokemon card. We're going to do Spidops EX. Stage 1, so it has to evolve from Tarantula. 260 HP. Much more than the 60 you were just looking at. With the ability Trap Territory, your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost is 1 more. For grass and a colorless, has the attack Wire Hang, which does 90 damage plus 30 more for each retreat cost in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost.
You just mentioned you can lock your opponent in the active slot. And then you can, like... I know there's, like, a couple of things that let you, like, smash your opponent. You can, like, Stone Rain them by, like, smashing their energy, even though it kind of costs a lot, I think, to do so. EXs, when they're knocked out, they get 2 prize cards. You start with 6.
Yep.
So, like, if your opponent does KO this guy, they get a third of the way to winning the game.
Yep.
But 260 is very beefy, but I think most EXs are just beefy, right? Like, most EXs are just, like, chonky boys.
For the most part, 300 is the number that, like... 300 or 330 is the number that Stage 2's Pokemon have to evolve twice get to.
Okay.
So 260, I would say, is pretty middle of the road. It's a little bit on the higher end for Stage 1 EXs, I think.
You are the kind of person that would pick 5 bangers in a row for this game, just because you wanted to talk about the cool cards from your day. I'm going to say this card is also very good.
This card is probably the worst EX out of the set that it's in.
Oh.
Maybe not the worst, but it's quite bad. The amount of damage it can do is just not enough. It was a part of some like weird niche control decks where you would put 4 of these into play, but it being Fire Week also was relevant in a format where Charizard was the best deck.
Okay.
Spidops EX was just not the move, which sucks. I think he's a pretty cool Pokemon.
I feel like I'm judging abilities based on the fact that they're never going to be in your front row.
Yeah,
That's how I see
one of the things you need to realize is that pretty much also Evergreen and Standard is a supporter that moves your opponent's Pokemon from the bench to active, just swaps them out.
Okay. Oh, so you can like force their Pidgeotto and just like beat it with hammers. Okay.
Yep. Next,
that's a good card design. That should exist all the time.
I agree. Pokemon players would disagree with you. They're very mad about boss's orders. Next up, we have Hypnotoxic Laser, a Team Plasma item card. It says your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Then
I think I've heard of this Radiohead song too, actually.
Yeah, Hypnotoxic. It's actually a Muse song. Hypnotoxic Laser, Black Hole. It says your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, and you flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now also asleep. The way these
coin flips.
Poison says that between turns, the Pokemon gets 1 damage counter, so 10 damage goes on to the Pokemon.
Yeah, it's 20 per turn, effectively 20 per turn cycle.
Yeah. And then the way sleep works is between turns, if your Pokemon's asleep, you flip a coin. If heads, you wake up. If tails, you're asleep. When you're asleep, you can't retreat or attack.
I
So the
vaguely
Laser
knew some of that.
effectively reads, do 1 damage to your opponent's Pokemon, 2 if it comes back to your turn, and there's a 25% chance the Pokemon does nothing. And if they flip heads on that coin, then they immediately are out of the lock from this.
Okay. I feel like this is... I've just called every card good so far. But... No, wait, I said the Battle Compressor was stinky. Never mind. Okay, so... I feel like this is good, but I feel like it's not because of the damage or the sleep. I feel like there's engines that require your opponent to be poisoned. I feel like this is part of a thing that's like, oh, if your opponent's poisoned, his Pokemon is poisoned, like draw 3 or some shit, or if your opponent's Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does triple damage. Like Venom Shock exists in the game, and I'm sure that there is like something that you want to start your engine with, and the sleep is just a bonus. I'm gonna say this card's a role player.
This card was dominant its entire time in Standard. It is damage modulation in the form of an item, which is super rare. They don't really print that very often.
Okay. So, like... Because I feel like old school Pokemon had shit like this. Didn't, like, old school Pokemon had, like, okay, your guy is, like, flip a coin, now it's burned and asleep or something like that. Like...
Plus Power was a card in base set Pokemon, which I believe was an item card that, like, attached to a Pokemon, and that Pokemon did 10 extra damage this turn, and you discarded it.
Yeah.
Damage fixing is what they call it usually, or like benchmark hitting. Hypnotoxic Laser had that, and also just a 25% chance that you time walked your opponent's Pokemon.
Yeah,
further,
like you could
there was a stadium that doubled poison damage.
There it is.
Used it with Pokemon that stopped your opponent from playing supporters every turn. So it was. I realize I'm putting a lot of control cards in here because I played a lot of control in Pokemon.
We got one more. I am 2 for 2.
This is the decider. I have to come up with a good one. I have to get really diabolical. I don't know the syntax on this card, so it's going to take me a second to find. Open link in new tab. Okay. I'm going to post 2 images in our Discord, and JJ's going to put 2 images on screen. This is one card, effectively.
One card effect. Oh, it's a fusion. It's a meld card. To tilt my head to look at it. Palkia and Dialga Legend. 160 Water Steel. Oh god, I have to tilt my head like all the way to read this. Sudden Delete. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, bounce it, time control, discard all energy.
So, for those at home who are turning their heads sideways like DJ to read this card, it is a legend card, so you have to play both halves of it at the same time, and it is worth 2 prize cards when they knock it out. It becomes a 160 HP Water and Steel Pokemon with 2 attacks. The first one is Water Colorless, and it says choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and then put all Pokemon and energy cards, I believe, attached to it back to your opponent's hand. The second attack is Time Control for Steel Colorless. Discard all Steel energy cards attached to Palkia and Dialga Legend. Add the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck to their prize cards.
Okay, so you need both halves of this at once.
Mm-hmm.
That... Can you search for either half with, like, Ultra Ball and stuff like that?
Yeah, you can.
Sudden Delete, just like... And if they bounce their guy... Like, I feel like you do effectively time walk them if their guy has a bunch of energies on it.
Mm-hmm.
160... And you play this, like, as a basic...
Yeah, I will say 160 was pretty beefy for this era. Let me double check something.
How old is this card? 2010.
This is Heart Gold Soul Silver era. For reference, the very good Feraligatr from this era had 140 HP and was worth 1 prize.
How does this work with, like, your, like, mulligan or whatever? Like, if you don't have if you have 1/2 of this and nothing else, do you get to mulligan?
It does not count as your basic, no.
Okay. I feel like this card... This seems like a design choice that could have been a mistake, where it ended up too good and they never did it again. Like, what if Meld and Magic was, like, ultra broken, or, like, Phyrexian Mana style of, like, nonsense, and they're just like, okay, fuck that, we're never doing that again, because it's 200 balance?
For what it's worth, I believe this is the only card in Pokemon TCG history to add to your opponent's prize cards.
So adding to their prize cards makes it harder for you to win, though, right?
No, it makes it harder for them to win. It means that they have to pick up 2 more prizes worth of knockouts to win the game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna say this card's good.
You're saying banger?
I'm saying banger.
Unfortunately, this card is a bust. It's a little too clunky. However, and DJ caught me on this, I just want to talk about cool Pokemon cards. This is responsible for one of my favorite images in Pokemon history, which I tried to find and I could not. I'll try and find it again so JJ can put it on screen. It's from like a regional or like a city tournament where somebody had 40 of their cards in their deck face down as prizes. They look really dejected because they didn't realize you could concede the game at any time. They thought you just had to keep playing it out.
Can you just, like, deck your opponent? Like, your deck is prizes now and you lose because it's all over there and you can't... It was so was it, like, a playable but niche, or just, like...
It was a one-off thing. It wasn't, like, a super strong deck. There was a deck that used... There was, like, a Floatzel that said you can shuffle it back into your deck to search your deck for 2 energy and attach to a Pokemon you control, and so every turn you would play Weasel ×2, shuffle back 2 of these Floatzels, load up energy onto Palkia and Dialga, use the attack, put 2 prizes down, and the next turn you would evolve 2 Floatzels, shuffle them back, attach energy, play 2 Weasels.
Sure.
And you would, like, have a bunch of heal cards for your Palkia and Dialga and random stall stuff. And your opponent could just never keep up on prizes because they had to knock out Palkia and Dialga Legend every single turn just to stay at parity. That said, it was really slow and it was like a 15-card combo.
I see. I was thinking that, like, being able to tutor for both halves of this would be very fast.
Well, the hard part is you have to attach 3 energy to it, and it's 1 energy attached per turn.
Yeah. I was thinking the bounce effect might be better, too. Like, just, like, because you don't have to discard energy to bounce. Like, it's just like, time block you, now put you 2 turns behind, now you're just never coming back.
That attack was good. The format was really defined by, like, stage 1 evolutions that did huge amounts of damage.
Sure. Alright, I'm not very good at this game, but it's still fun.
I love talking about card games.
Very fun game.
You know, another game is very fun and also potentially very profitable.
Magic the Gathering.
And Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I got a cheeky little pick of the week based off the Pro Tour. Because the top 8 was draft, there wasn't as much hullabaloo for Modern as there could have been.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Allosaurus Rider saw play in what I consider to be... The highest win rate deck at the Pro Tour was either Neoform or the Trudge Eldrazi deck, which I don't remember. They were like within a percentage point of each other. And Allosaurus Rider's like $4 still. That card's printings were The List in foil, so Mystery Booster.
Dual deck elves versus something.
Goblins. And Cold Snap.
And it's got a pre-release promo, or release promo?
Yes, you are correct about that, yeah. Modern RCQ season, people are going to pick up real quick that Neoform is broken. Neoform is really broken.
That deck feels like Amulet Titan, where you open a hand and it's 7 pieces of hot garbage, then you win on turn 2.
Yep. That's pretty much what it is. I don't know. The deck is just really strong. It's super consistent. It is a little soft. It's super interactive. Like, if someone plays, blue-white control, you're probably not going to beat them, but no one's playing blue-white control right now.
Because everyone wants to play their own version of the broken thing.
Well, it's also blue-white control really struggles into Emrakul the Promised End X4 in multiple different decks.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that pick. I gotta write it down. On our spreadsheets that our Patreon subscribers have access to.
I know that's right.
If you go to patreon.com/BSB, give us some small amount of money every month, then you too can read back on our picks of the week, going all the way back several years. DJ picked Phyrexian Arena like 2.5 years ago. That didn't age well. From Phyrexian Albi one. He also picked the One Ring at $64 though, the week after. So like, if you bought an equal number of each of those, you did pretty well. Anyway, my pick this week is another pick that I did about 1.5 years ago. I'm just scrolling through the spreadsheet and I saw DJ picked gold border pre-modern cards in like May of 2025, and I'm going to double down on that, and I'm going to double down specifically on a certain one, and that is Grim Monolith. This is a card that is like kind of impossible to buy as a vendor. Nobody ever wants to get rid of their Grim Monoliths. Like, the card is impossible to find. It's impossible to find in foil. Gold border ones are affordable. They're not the most popular version of the card in pre-modern. Like, there's not a ton of Grim Monolith nonsense going on in pre-modern. It's mostly a EDH card. But, like, card's powerful. They're not making more of it. It is lagging behind the LED Mox Diamond asset class. Like, it's not quite at that caliber, but I think it should be. So I kind of want to pick regular Grim Monolith and gold border. Just every version of Grim Monolith you can get your hands on, I feel like is a slam dunk. Gold border ones are like $40-$50. They'll probably be $100 in a year. Like, look at gold border Cradle. Gold border Cradle now is what like a regular one was a few years ago. It's all the gold border stuff is surprisingly hard to find. Most players are chill with it, and I think it's really hard to go wrong. Specifically, Grim Monolith, I think right now is lagging behind some of its elder siblings in like the Mox Diamond LED City of Traders family.
My one caveat to this is that I think pre-modern players might mind if you use a gold border Grim Monolith, considering it is banned in pre-modern. However,
sure.
as a CEDH card, this card's a banger.
Fair enough. I knew it wasn't good in the format. I didn't know why.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything DJ said. Technicalities aside, I recently had to bite the bullet and buy my Grim Monoliths, and that card is more expensive than it was a couple years ago. And we both know that reserve list cards don't really go down.
They don't, and they all like kind of rise and fall in tide with one another. If you want a frame of reference right now, I'm going to talk about ban again. TCG low for a near mint Grim Monolith is $430. Cool Stuff will pay you $380 or more in store credit. Strike Zone will pay you $400 for a near mint Grim Monolith. Card Cam's a little low on this one right now on their buy list, but like that just might be an algorithm thing. The grading compression on these is really tight, so like HP copies don't get you that much of a discount because like again, once the HP copies appear, they just get snapped up because they're too cheap. Grim Monolith, TCG low for HP is $340. Strike Zone will pay you $275. That's a very small delta. Regular or gold border Grim Monolith, I think they're both very good picks.
Corbin's not here, so no one can stop this bus. This bus is going 70 miles an hour, and we're going to crash. And we're going to crash right into the end of the episode. Thanks for listening, everybody.
And then JJ can add a car crash sound and then sirens and... Sirens especially. Like, if you're listening to this in your car, we should add some siren effects just throughout the podcast, just to spice it up a little, like...
Yeah, yeah. Keep property values in this podcast low.
Have a good one, everyone. Corbin will be back next week from his B-dubs related lettuce death.
B-dubs lettuce death is a good episode name. B-dubs lettuce death?